Welcome back, friends. Today, we're making Beshbarmak, a dish with deep nomadic roots. Just meat, dough, and history on a plate. Let's cook it the way it was meant to be. If you love real food with real stories, hit subscribe. More traditions, more taste, right here. First, we rinse the meat, not just for cleanliness, but to honor the ingredient. In traditional cooking, this step is about respect. Now we slice it into large pieces. Beshbarmak isn't about fancy cuts. It's about feeding many with love and generosity. Did you know? Beshbarmak means 5 fingers because it was eaten by hand. It brought families together, seated on the floor, sharing from one plate. This dish tells a story of nomads, survival, and celebration. It's more than food, it's a memory passed down through generations. Want more behind the scenes and recipe stories? Follow us on Instagram. It's all happening there. Now it's time to fry the meat. This is where the real aroma begins, the kind that pulls neighbors to your door. My grandmother used to say, if the pan doesn't hiss, it's not happy. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. Ever noticed how cooking meat brings silence into the room? As if everyone's waiting, not to eat, but to remember. In ancient times, Beshbarmak was cooked only for honored guests or big celebrations. It wasn't everyday food. The broth was considered sacred. Elders would drink it first, believing it gave strength and wisdom. Time to add onions to the boiling meat. They'll soften into the broth, adding sweetness and depth, just like conversations during long dinners. Oh, and let's not forget the sausages. They're not traditional in every version, but here they add a rich, smoky note that makes the whole dish sing. Now let's move on to the dough, the quiet hero of Beshbarmak. Soft, thin layers that hold everything together. Traditionally, this dough was rolled out by hand on the floor. A family would gather, each person helping in silence. I remember kneading dough with my aunt as a kid. She'd say, the more love you press in, the softer it turns out. Some say the dough represents the earth, while the meat is the sky, both meeting on one plate. Simple, but poetic. Ever thought about how every culture has its own version of dough? Flatbreads, noodles, dumplings? It's universal comfort. Looking to bring a touch of tradition to your kitchen? Explore my curated collection of kitchen essentials at Home Wild Shop. From authentic tools to unique ingredients, find everything you need to recreate the flavors of Central Asia. As our meat gently simmers, filling the kitchen with rich aroma, we turn to slicing onions. Their sweetness is subtle but powerful, ready to balance the hearty flavors. Onions in Beshbarmak aren't just a side note. They add a crisp texture and a faint sharpness that wakes up the palate. It's these small details, the way onions mingle with rich broth and tender meat, that turn a simple meal into a ritual of flavors and stories shared. That's the soul of Beshbarmak. Now it's time to roll out the dough, smooth and thin, like a soft canvas ready to hold all those rich flavors. If you're enjoying this journey, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more delicious stories and recipes. We keep rolling the dough thin. This thinness is what makes Beshbarmak so tender and easy to eat by hand. Once rolled out, we cut the dough into neat squares. Each piece will soak up the savory broth, becoming soft and flavorful. The size of the pieces matters. Not too big, not too small, just right to hold a perfect balance of texture. This simple step is what transforms plain dough into a key player of the dish's unique character. Our meat has finally reached perfect tenderness. It's time to take it off the heat. Look at how it falls apart easily, a sign that it's been cooked with patience and care. Now, we slice the meat into bite-sized pieces, each one juicy and full of rich, deep flavor. This slicing moment is crucial. It lets the meat mingle beautifully with the dough and broth. Now let's slice some sausage to add an extra layer of flavor and texture to our dish. Interesting fact, traditionally, sausages like Käse were made from horse meat and considered a delicacy. Let's take a little break while the flavors meld together. Nothing beats fresh strawberries to refresh the palate. I remember when I first tasted strawberries straight from the garden. That burst of sweetness felt like summer in every bite. What's your favorite way to enjoy strawberries? Fresh, in desserts, or maybe in a smoothie? Now it's time to cook the dough squares, a delicate process that transforms simple flour into something special. Traditionally, Beshbarmak dough is boiled in the rich meat broth, soaking up all those deep, savory flavors. This method not only cooks the dough, but also makes it tender and flavorful, blending perfectly with the meat. In old times, nomads relied on such simple techniques to create hearty meals on the steppe, using every ingredient fully. It's amazing how these humble traditions have survived, connecting us to a rich culinary history. Now, let's wash the onions carefully. Clean. Fresh onions are key to making the dish look as good as it tastes. Did you know that rinsing onions can soften their sharpness, making them sweeter and more pleasant to eat? How do you usually prepare onions when cooking? Do you have any special tricks? Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to taste this delicious masterpiece. Every bite tells a story of tradition, patience, and love for food. Let's dig in.
So good.
Even the little one gave it a try and loved it. If you enjoyed this cooking journey, hit subscribe and join us for more authentic recipes and stories.